In a recent video, we talked about how to create a mockup with complex 3D shapes when you have a lot of sides, a lot of folds, and how to overall go around wrapping your design around it. But a lot of you in the comments also asked me, Unmesh, what do I do if I have a round object like a bottle? Well, in that video, we used perspective warp, and perspective warp is great if you have sides which are flat. But with a round object, things get a little different, and that's what this video is all about. We'll not only learn how to wrap our designs around round objects, but also we'll learn how to add shine and reflection and all of the elements that you already have in this photo back in, along with the flexibility of the mockup to change anything you like at any point of time, and that too absolutely easily. So without any further ado, let's get started. Before we get started, this video is brought to you by Envato Elements. If you're looking for world-class, high-quality, ready-made mockups, or even if you're looking for images to create the mockup, Envato Elements is one of the best places to do that because everything is unlimited. You can download as much as you want, as many as you want, and that too with a license. And it is not just limited to all of these templates. You have everything. You have fonts, you have add-ons, Photoshop actions, presets, brushes. You have stock photos, stock videos. If you look at graphics, you have backgrounds, textures, sound effects, music, video templates, like After Effects templates that you can apply for animations like this. And if you just look at graphic templates, you have everything you need for UI, UX, logos, scene generators. It is just unlimited. By the way, it's free to check out their catalog. Also, if you're interested, there might be some offers, discounts. For more details, check the links in the description. Let's go ahead and get back to the video. Back in the magical world of Photoshop, and if you wish to follow along, I have something that's going to make your process easier. You're not only able to download this sample image, but also the complete starting PSD, so that you have the selection of the complete object and the cap and the body separately, so that you can go ahead and get started with the interesting stuff and not waste time with the mundane ones. The first step is understanding that this, my friend, is a reflective surface. And because it's a reflective surface, it's also reflecting off some colors from its surroundings. Now, when we add our design, we don't want these colors like red and yellow that it's reflecting off to mingle with our design. They're like bad company. We want to keep it away. So let's neutralize them. So to do that completely from the object, make a selection of the object. I've already done that. You can use the pen tool. In this case, I highly recommend using the pen tool. Press P for the pen tool, and then you can slowly and gradually create a point, click and drag to create a curve, and then you can continue from here. I highly recommend watching this guide if you don't know how to use the pen tool. I can guarantee you that by the end of it, you'll master it. You'll absolutely understand everything that there is to it. Now, you would need some practice, but by the end of it, if you practice a little more along with it, I can guarantee you that you'll be a master. So to load the selection that I had already made, I'm going to go to Select, Load Selection, and Object is the one that we're going to choose. Hit OK. Now with the selection active, we're going to create a Hue Saturation Adjustment layer and take the saturation all the way to the left-hand side. Now, all the colors are gone, and every color we add will not mingle with any color that's already there. Now this is optional. This, my friend, is a mockup, so you do have the option to adjust it anytime you like. If you have a plain design and if you don't mind a little bit of color, you can always bring it back to normal. Just keep it right there. This, my friend, is an adjustment layer and therefore adjustable later. Let us name this layer Desaturate so that we know what it's doing. The next layer that we're going to make with the same selection, to activate the same selection, you can hold the Control or Command and click on the mask. There you go. Let's create a curves adjustment layer, and we're not going to do anything right now. This is just for additional lighting adjustment. Now let's create the wrapping paper for just the body. We can do the cap separately. Now think of wrapping paper as a digital wrapping paper, and the reason why we are creating it is because if we want to change the design, all we have to do is to change the content of the wrapping paper, and that would automatically apply with all the blend modes, all the settings, and all the adjustments. All right. And we're going to create a rectangle a little wider than the body because the paper needs to be a little more to wrap around it, right? So let's draw in this rectangle. I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and decrease the opacity, and then we can adjust it. Let's bring it to the center. And if you really want to center it, I can recommend this. Press Ctrl or Command R to bring in the rulers, and from the rulers you can drag in the guides right here to the bottle, on the other side as well. Now take the rectangular marquee tool and create a selection within it. Now with that selection active and the body selected, select the Move tool right there, and then at the top, center it according to the selection. Then you can also center it vertically as well, but we don't want to do that. We just wanted to center it horizontally. Press Ctrl or Command D, and there you have it. While you're in the rectangle tool, you want to make sure that we don't have any stroke, and you can change the color to whatever you like. Right? Let's keep it at the color. And once it's over everything, over the whole body, right click on it and then choose Convert to Smart Object. Now here comes the warping. You can change the blend mode of this layer from normal to linear burn because it works very well with reflective objects and metallic objects. And then you can press Ctrl or Command T, right click on it, and then choose warp. All right. Now, since the paper is wrapping in, we need to first bring the points closer to the bottle. Now, to maintain that everything is on a straight line, you can also drag in some more guides just like this. You can drag in one more guide for the bottom area as well, just like this. All right. And now you can drag in this point inside. Now, when you're trying to select the point, it might accidentally select the guide. And for it, you can also select the point from a little far away. That's not an issue. Place it right here. There you go. Similarly, do the same with all the points. Now keep in mind, we are only concerned about adding design on the bottom part of the flask. At the top part, it's curving a little and that gets very, very complicated. If you want, you can adjust the points. That way you can bring it in, you can split it, you can just curve in the warp in any which way you want. But to be able to do that, you need to create the wrapping paper in a completely different shape, and it cannot be a rectangle. Because if you have a look right here at the top, at the neck, the circumference is different as opposed to the bottom part of the bottle. And therefore, since the circumference is different, we cannot have the same amount of wrapping paper, right? It would be a different shape, and that can get really, really complicated. So for now, let's keep it simple in Photoshop. However, if you're working with extremely complex shapes, it makes way more sense for you to just use 3D objects, and trust me, it's much easier as well. And apps like Adobe Dimension make it extremely easy for you to create mockups in 3D. If you want a video on that, let me know in the comments. In this case, all you have to do is to adjust the handles and the points according to the shape. That's it. You need to make sure that everything is straight and nice. Similarly, let's do the same right here as well. Let's bring the point closer. Let's bring it closer right here as well. Now, as you're adjusting the handles, make sure that in your quest to adjust the handles, you don't bend the frame, all right? Keep everything straight according to the shape of the object. Now, this area needs to curve properly too, and for it, we're going to use these handles right here. Now, if you want to take the guides away, if you want to hide the guides, press Ctrl:, all right? And now you can easily work with handles. Similarly, let's do the same right here as well. We might have to adjust and refine it later, and for that, we're going to add a test design. Don't worry about it. Now, just make sure that it's covering all of the flask. I'm going to decrease the opacity, and now zoom in and make sure that it's covering everything. If it's a little outside, that's fine. Just make sure everything is covered. Right here, it's not. We're going to take care of that. Just make sure with the sides, everything is covered. Extend it a little bit. Now, let's adjust the position. First of all, let's apply it by pressing Enter or Return. Now press Ctrl or Command D and take it up so that all of the body is covered. All right, there you go. The body is covered till this point. Everything is nice. Now increase back in the opacity, and there's one more step to it. You might already have guessed it, and that is mask it out. We already have a mask right there, so hold the Alt key, the Option key, and click and drag the mask to the body. And there you have it. It looks like something is wrong and that there's something that's missing. And that, my friend, is shine. Don't worry about it. We're going to add it later. Now let's test the design. So double click on the thumbnail right here. And just to test it, we're going to create a solid color adjustment layer. Let's keep it red. And then let's add a text box right in here. So right there, full of it, lorem ipsum. And we're going to increase the size to, let's say, 14. How about 16? That's nicer. And let's just copy it and fill the entire thing. Now you can color it whatever you want. I'm just going to select all and select maybe yellow, a bright yellow right there. I like this color, FFCC00. Hit OK and press Ctrl or Command S. Now let's close it and analyze the design here. Let's see if it aligns well. So if we zoom in, it is aligning pretty darn well, but we can make some adjustments. Now if we press Ctrl or Command T, it's going to give us a warning. So we have to first unlink it. That's what it's saying. And then press Ctrl or Command T, right click on it, and then choose warp. And then you can adjust it accordingly. So if it's not aligning properly, you can do it. But in this case, it's aligning pretty darn well. So you can adjust the design elements like this. It's aligning pretty well. I like it. You can bring things closer like that. And there you go. Most of it is pretty cool. Right here, it's not aligning well, as you can see, the line. Now don't worry about the design right now. We're going to take care of the lighting later. Just adjust it the way you want. Once you're happy with how the design is warping, hit Enter or Return. That is how we adjust it. Now I know this design is looking weird, and right here, it is just erasing, and that is why we have the lighting adjustment here. So let's open up the lighting adjustment, and for the dark areas, let's bring them up. There you go. We have the designs coming back in. There you go. But for the bright areas, we do want to bring them down. So let's do that. So for every design, you can adjust it, and that's why we have it right there. Also keep in mind, sometimes linear burn can be very harsh. And if it's harsh for some designs, you can also change it back to something like multiply, which has a smoother gradient, and it does create a better representation. And you can make the adjustments to the lighting accordingly. So if you wanted to make it darker, you could do that. There you go. I feel this is okay, and multiply works better in this case. Now this, my friend, was just a sample design. You can take all of it away and save it, Control or Command S. Now it's back to blank. Now let's worry about the cap right here. We're just gonna apply a color, and for it, first of all, let's select the cap. I already have the selection. Let's go to select, load selection. You also have it, so check the link in the description for the starting PST with all the selection. Choose cap, hit OK, we have the selection active, then simply create a solid color adjustment layer. If you wanted to add some designs here, you can follow the same steps. I'm just gonna give it red. You can change the color as well, so you can name it, change color, cap, or whatever. So cap, and let's change the blend mode to multiply. Now, did you notice that all of the blend modes that we considered were darkening blend modes like multiply, linear burn? This, my friend, is the darken group. And why did we consider the blend modes from the darken group? Because anything that we're going to print on it will only darken it, in most cases at least. Think of it like printing on a white paper. Your printer doesn't print white, right? It only prints darker colors, and any place that has bright areas or completely white, it just leaves out those places. And that is why we chose blend modes from the darken group. But that, my friend, creates two problems in this case. Number one, it absolutely takes away the shine from this metallic surface. And number two, if you have a design that is black, it's gonna be absolute black and not look realistic. For example, if you choose black as the color of the cap, have a look. It went absolutely black, and this is just not right. If you change the color of the body as well, if you have a design or a logo, if it's black, and if you apply it, it's completely black. Like, it is just not real. So how do you take care of that? By adding shine. To add shine, make a copy of the original image. So we're gonna go ahead and select the background layer and then press Ctrl or Command J, place it at the very top, and let's name this layer shine. First of all, let's convert this into a smart object so that whatever filter we apply, we're gonna change that later. Now in this layer, all we want are the shine elements. No color, no dark areas, none of that. Just the shine elements. And how do we achieve that? We will take the help of camera raw. Let's go to filter and then camera raw filter. First of all, let us take the saturation all the way to the left hand side. We could also have desaturated it, and now simply decrease the exposure. There you go. We just want the bright shine elements. Don't take it way too further. That way we won't have any details in the dark areas, and any black design you're gonna add, especially in the dark areas, it's gonna go absolutely black. So let's keep it at about -4.15. That's all right. And hold the Shift key and click on Auto Whites. Now you have brought back the shine elements. Now you can adjust it further. I think -3.8 is fine. That way we have some details here as well. Hit OK. We can adjust this later. This, my friend, is a smart object. Now change the blend mode from normal to, you guessed it, we're going to choose a blend mode from the brightening group, and that's going to be screen. That's the best here. Now also we want the mask of just the object, the bottle. Hold the Alt key or the Option key and click and drag the mask right there, and there you have it. Now of course you don't want opacity to be 100. You might want to go ahead and decrease the opacity to about 60. That's fine, and there you have it. You also have the shine, and there, my friend, you have your mockup ready. Now in this case, even if you choose black as the color of the cap, it's gonna look realistic. Fantastic. Now if you want to add any design to it, you already know what to do. Double click on the thumbnail of the body, and then you can just add a text, a logo, whatever you wish. So let's go ahead and create a brand new layer, and let's add some text. Let's type in anything. Yay. You already know who he is. This is just fun to type in. It's not that I support him or stuff. It's just fun. Anyway, so this is all right. We're going to keep it in the center. There you go. Control or Command S. And now when you get back to it, there you have it. And also, if you do notice that this area looks a little stretched, and that's going to happen in some cases, you might want to go back right there, press Control or Command T, right click on it, and then choose Warp, and then adjust it. Hit enter or return. The more you refine your mockup, the better. So this, my friend, is your mockup, and you can add any design or color that you like according to your wish. Now, if you want to change anything after you open the mockup, after anyone opens the mockup, is, let's say you want to change the color of the cap. Just change the color to whatever you like from right here. So blue, green, yellow, you can just change it to whatever. Now, if you want to change the body, double click on the thumbnail of the body. If you want to change the color, just create a solid color adjustment layer on top of it. You can also change the color of the rectangle right here, double click on it, and that way It's also possible. So you can choose whatever you want. So I'm just going to create a solid color adjustment layer, and then you can type in any text you want. You can bring in any design you want, and then when you save it by pressing Ctrl or Command S, it shows up right here as well. I hope this video helped you. Let us do a quick little recap. First of all, we're just going to create a hue saturation adjustment layer just to desaturate it. If we had colors, it might mingle with your design. But if it's not mingling, you have the option to adjust it right over here. Now, the next one is the lighting adjustments. If the dark areas get too bright or too dark, you can adjust it from right here. You can also adjust the bright areas from right here according to your design requirements. Now on top, this is the most essential thing. You want to add a rectangular wrapping paper, make it a little extra, and then using warp it, and then choose a blend mode from a darken group. We chose multiply, and don't forget to convert it into a smart object, otherwise it won't be a mockup and you will have the ability to change the design later. In all of the cases, don't forget to mask in the object, and now when I look at it right here, there's a teeny tiny mistake. Can you spot it? Take a look at it closely. Can you spot it now? We have masked in the complete bottle instead of just the body right here. So let's go ahead and delete the mask right here, and then I have the selection for the body. Let's go to select, load selection, and let's just choose body. There you go. And now click on the mask button. That's what we wanted. Now you can also create a mask for the cap and set it as a solid color adjustment layer with the multiply blend mode, so you can change the color of that as well as part of the mockup. And then at the top, to create shine, we just decrease the exposure of the original image copy at the very top and increased the whites just to keep the shine elements, and changed the blend mode to screen, also masked in the complete object right here. Don't forget to adjust the opacity accordingly. And that's how, my friend, we create a mockup of round objects in Photoshop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give us a like, and also don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe. Ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other future tips, tricks, or tutorials. I would like to take this moment to thank all these nice and amazing people for supporting PiXimperfect on Patreon and helping keep PiXimperfect free for everybody forever. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.
What can I do?